Hi.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
We are coming together today with Bettina Fisher, to talk a bit about emotions that are coming up lately and mostly anger. Bettina?
Hello, everyone. Very pleased to meet you. My name is Bettina Fisher. I live in Germany. I am an energy worker, a grid worker. I have noticed in my one-on-one sessions patterns emerging a lot, and especially lately. For the past 6 weeks or so, I hear the story a lot that women, especially, or men that are not that dominant in structure, they tell me about feeling very, very angry. And there is a sudden, deep-seated anger coming up that they don't know how to deal with. And every single one I talk to is telling me something must be wrong with me. And I feel that it's a good idea to tell you, well, nothing is wrong with you. In fact, everything is right with you. That is what we want to talk about today, to give you a bit of a bigger picture why this is happening. Yeah, it has to do with the fact that the patriarchy, as we have been conditioned and used to the way it was for the past 10,000 years on this planet, is coming to an end. Yeah, and we are not moving into a new matriarchy. That's not what's happening at all. On the contrary, the pendulum is coming into the center. And for us, that means for every single human being, that we have to balance out the male and female energies within us. We need to come into an equilibrium, into a balance of who we are as a human being, including the masculine attributes of being protective, being caring, sticking up for the family, yeah, being more outward focused, and the feminine attributes of being nurturing, caring, maybe a bit more inward focused, but having this kind of inner strength that's always there to nurture everybody else. And also allowing, that's really an important part. The masculine action step is always about getting something done, and the female attributes are more about allowing and letting things come to pass. Now, so it's not about gender. Yeah, if it were about gender, things would look very differently right now. Because if you look around on the planet, you can see that the women in leadership positions, yeah, they mostly act and look and dress like men. Yeah, they are living their masculine sides, yeah, which is perfectly okay if they now start to incorporate the female attributes and start allowing and start expressing that part of themselves and allowing that to the surface. And surface is the key word here. Yeah, especially those of us who have always been the more weak partner in relationships. We have literally pushed down our strength, our power, to such a degree that on the emotional scale, we are literally stuck in depression. And what has surfaced now is that that is no longer possible. We can no longer experience things in half measures. We are becoming who we are no matter what. That means that we are coming out of the depression, and even as almost as a species, yeah, people are realizing, I want to be who I am. I don't want to deny myself half of who I am in order to fit into some structure of society or to fit into a relationship that no longer resonates with me. Yeah, if I am in a partnership with a person that is abusive, or a partnership with a person that does not allow me to be who I truly am, then what's the point? Yeah, it is coming up very forcefully now. And women have told me, and even some of the men, that they feel something is wrong with them because they are no longer capable of showing up the way they always did, because something has shifted. And what has shifted is we are coming out of depression. We're coming out of powerlessness. Yeah, we are beginning to include parts of ourselves and express parts of ourselves that are more powerful. And the next higher step on the emotional ladder from depression upwards is anger. Yeah, so
And let me
feeling
add,
angry is powerful.
it is powerful. And let me add to that It's not just relationships that have to do with love relationships or marriages or husband and wife and stuff like that. It's with every kind of relationship you have in your life, friends, parents, children, you every kind of relationship. But this is how we first noticed the same things with Bettina as we are working together. And we started as Bettina being my healer. Okay, healers do need healers, bear that in mind. But the point is, the anger comes up for a reason, okay? And it's a calling from your higher self to invoke your power back, to claim your power back, to be authentic to yourself. And the first reaction we have is, I don't want to be angry. I don't like this version of me of being angry. I came to you again this week with that question, like, what is going on with me? Why I am so angry with these situations? And after our conversation where we laid the path of all these things that are changing now, I noticed that this has been happening for me for several times when I'm awakening to a new version of myself.
Yeah. And that's because you're coming into your power. You're stepping up more for yourself, and all the things that you have repressed before and pushed down want to be expressed. Yeah. As children in this society of the Western world, we have mostly been conditioned that it is not okay to bother other people with your negative emotions. You're not supposed to express them. Yeah. Sort of like, if you are angry, go to your room. Because of course people around you feel it's uncomfortable. Why should I deal with that person's anger? Yeah, let them deal with that themselves. And later on, once you start on the spiritual path, yeah, you're being told not only should you not express them, it would be better if you wouldn't have those emotions in the first place.
True.
Yeah, it's sort of like you have to meditate more, you have to do this more, you have to do that more. And you know what? That's the shoe on the wrong foot, because all of the emotions we're having here are worth experiencing and are worth expressing. It's part of who we are. Yeah, if we deny ourselves the expression of these emotions, then they get stuck and they accumulate, and then you are like a little powder keg, and then the next shift comes along and it's like, whoa, where is all this anger coming from? Why am I so angry?
And not only that, which is the most important of all that we actually notice very easily, the emotion that stays stagnant in the body or suppressed, it creates body issues, health issues. So do you want to become sick because of that, because of anger that is not expressed? One of the things that I realized is the more we express our emotions in a healthy way for us, not what is considered healthy, okay, because there's a difference there. And spiritual communities go with love and light, and you have to love everyone and be happy and cheerful. Yes, we do want that, but we have to embrace everything else in the same scale of emotions equally.
Yeah, it's been in my experience that actually our power is sitting in the sides of ourselves that we do not like. Yeah, that we try to ignore, or we try to delete, or we try to kill in worst scenarios. Yeah, and it leads to all kinds of problems because it's all pent up energy that's sitting somewhere. Yeah, and the kind of anger that I'm talking about is mostly sitting in the gallbladder and the liver. Yeah, the gallbladder stores fury and the liver stores self-directed anger. Yeah, that's the kind of thing where you have this inner dialogue going on, beating yourself up like, why did I do this? Why I should have been doing that? And why did I say that? And you're constantly going on in your mind, but it's not healthful. It's not healthy. Yeah, what we need to find is a way to allow those emotions to vibrate out. And the fastest way to do that is finding a creative endeavor and channel it into that. At least that's my experience.
Transmutation of the energy of the emotion of anger, exactly that. And not only that, from my experiences, it's also good, yes, to transmute. That's something that you can do right away, but also sit back with yourself and enjoy the feeling that you got agitated, angry with something. Yes, it's always self-directed at the bottom of all the layers, even if the trigger is someone else outside of us at this point. But stay a bit with that and understand that this is a calling for you to change your perception of something, to find a new way of being within yourself that is authentic and true to yourself, and change what needs to be changed. It's not about always stepping away from someone, which is also the case in most of the situations, but it's also about understanding, what do you need now? What have you suppressed before? So you can step into a new way of living, of being with yourself without suppressing yourself, to be kind, to be the person that someone wants you to be, or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I can second that. What I also feel is what we need to understand is there is no going back to before. Yeah, sometimes people think, oh, this is just a phase and everything will go back to normal. Well, if COVID has taught us anything, it's that there is no normal anymore. Yeah, we cannot turn back the clock. That ship has sailed. So the only way to move is forward. Yeah, deeper into who and what you truly are. And Jesus always says there are no angry people in heaven. Yeah, because angry people believe that they are unworthy of creating heaven on earth. What if you could accept the fact that you are angry and celebrate yourself for those emotions instead of putting yourself down for it, yeah, and berating yourself for it. If you celebrated that anger, you would have relief, yeah, and you would allow yourself to integrate all of that pent up energy and allow it to make you, yeah, we always feel it's outside of ourselves. No, this is part of who you truly are. All of these emotions, everything is who and what you truly are. It's part of what we express here. But if we deny ourselves expressing these emotions, yeah, we are stuck. And then everything becomes an effort. Nothing is moving forward. Yeah. Now, if you want to come more into the flow, into the zone, then figure out how to be yourself without lashing out at anybody else or yourself. Yeah, channel that energy into some creative endeavor or celebrate yourself for it until you start laughing and say, okay, right, I'm angry. I get it. Yeah. I cannot accept that. And for a day or two, that may be uncomfortable for my spouse, my children, my family, my co-workers. But you know what? Right this moment, this is who I am. Yeah. Stand up for yourself. And this isn't about gender. I can only stress this because it isn't. Yeah. Men are just as susceptible to the shifts and changes as women. And this idea that women are coming into power and men are going into powerlessness, that's bullshit. Complete rubbish. Yeah, because it isn't about gender. It isn't about all of us. It is about every single individual finding the balance within themselves. Yeah, allowing themselves to start being who they truly are. And most women who I've talked to in the last couple of weeks have told me that they feel like they can't make themselves small anymore. Yeah, that's true. Guess what? And now you have relationships where people, if men or women, doesn't really matter, where the weaker partner stands up and says suddenly, you know what, all of this dominance games, I don't want this anymore. I can't do this anymore. Yeah. The year 2023 is going to be a milestone for relationships because the vibrations coming in now are propelling us into being authentically ourselves, no matter what. Yeah, you have to step into your power, but you also have to step into the responsibility for what you do with that power. Yeah, and then it's like, oh my goodness, I did that. Now what? Yeah, if you have a partner who is also willing to embrace the concept and say, well, I need to figure out what's going on in myself, what I am doing with this now, what this means for me, then you have a chance to find a new basis from which to cooperate and create something new together. Yeah, but for most relationships that have been running in a certain dominance and submission pattern for a long time, that's going to become very, very uncomfortable and hurtful.
And unbearable, because there comes a point where you say enough is enough. And that is a great point to reach, actually, because you say, this is not working out for me anymore. I've been this, I've done this, it's not helpful, I'm not in my sovereignty. And we are claiming that sovereignty, regardless of gender, as you say, exactly, regardless of the circumstances. And we are here to actually create a new normal. You said about there's no normal to go back through. We are constantly creating a new normal way of being within ourselves, respecting ourselves and respecting others at the same time, because we are all one at the same time. But some of us have to break through these patterns of so
Yeah,
many years and
yeah.
create something new for ourselves. And that creates ripple effects for everyone else. So no matter how difficult it might be for you to step out of an abusive relationship, remember that you do it for yourself, first and foremost. You are claiming your sovereignty, and then you are creating a space for others to feel that I need that kind of freedom for myself too. I need to step out of what I have ever allowed to happen so far in my life. Take the responsibility of your own life in your hands and be the sovereign creator that you are. Because this is why we came here. We come here to realize whether we are sovereign creators or co-creators with God and Jesus, if you prefer better. For me, it actually rings better in that way, better. So we are here to co-create that.
I know that the fastest way to do that, to really step into that responsibility and into living this relationship with yourself, because that's actually the relationship that we're talking about here. The relationship between you as a physical manifestation of that divinity. And that divinity, that 97% that is not manifest here in this body, that is the divinity that you want to have a relationship with. Yeah, and expressing more of this divinity with you and through you on a daily basis. Yeah, it takes some getting used to, because that's a different point of view. And it also means that you can help yourself by stepping into this power and taking charge of your life. Most people have been flying on autopilot. Yeah, the patterns they have established over their lives are still running, and the relationship patterns have been established for a couple of years, and they are still running, and they are pulling you back into all of these old vibrations. Now, in order to really step out of that and say, okay, I will be who I truly am, I will explore what this means for me. I don't think normal is the way that I would describe it. I think it's more of an ever happening expansion of consciousness. It's more like we are constantly stepping into a higher version of ourselves. Yeah, and that means making the higher choices in essence. It also means that if you want to take charge, start setting intentions. That's the point. That's also a really, really good practice. Like getting up in the morning and first thing you tell yourself, today I am the creator of this day, this life, this world, this body. Today I am intending to experience more of my joy, my happiness, my abundance, my health. Yeah, because it's already within me. I just haven't accessed it yet. Yeah, and I will allow myself to be who I am today. At this moment, I will allow myself to be who I am today. And you know what? If you are having a shitty day, yeah, and everybody around you is like, what the fuck is going on with you? Yeah, it's still the best you can do at that moment, because that is who you are at that moment. And maybe somebody else needs to be triggered to take a good look at themselves as well. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not about right or wrong anymore. It's about you being who you truly are and expressing that, allowing yourself to express that. We need to give ourselves permission to do this. Yeah.
You said that, and literally you have to give yourself permission to do that, because the more you give permission to yourself to express your emotions, how you feel, how you want your life to be, the more you allow all these things to flow through you and not stay stagnant and suppressed in there.
Well, all the people that have been on the receiving end of others submitting to them are going to have a difficult time adjusting. Yeah? And I have a lot of compassion for somebody who was used to be catered to, who was used to get everything he needs from that other person, not needing to look inside of himself to find it for himself. Yeah, one of the reasons why so many relationships are going to be really difficult this year and are going to become unbearable at some point is that as long as we try to get from that other person, from that partner, what we cannot find within ourselves, yeah, you're still in codependence, and you're still in a state of needing that other person to be something specific for you. Yeah, now that person doesn't want to be that something for you anymore. And now you are thrown back on yourself, and you have to take a look at, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with this? Now, my partner doesn't function the way that he or she used to. How am I going to move forward? Well, take a good look inside and start from there. Start looking at what are your priorities. How are you living your life? Are you a tyrant? Are you a victim? Or would you actually rather be a co-creator of this life? Would you step into your own power and not needing somebody else to provide it for you? Yeah, that's a difficult situation to be in. And so I have a lot of compassion for all the tyrants that are suddenly without subjects. That's going to be a difficult position to be in.
You said that now, and I have many images being created in my third eye, but yes, this is the truth. And having the power within yourself to be vulnerable enough to explore these archetypes and patterns that have been going on probably from a lifetime to a lifetime. And yes, it is difficult to break free from this in any of the roles, even being submissive to someone else, because we have been used to giving and giving and giving, and that goes for many healers actually as well. We have to understand why we are here to give so much and to whom, directed to whom. Redirect these cords to yourself, okay, in whatever situation you are, or the role, or the archetype, or whatever, and find that balance, fulfill yourself from within. If you need of a partner, start visualizing your sacred partner or ideal partner or whatever you want to call it, coming from the source, fulfilling you in both feminine and masculine energies. If you need a mother that is not a tyrant or submissive to your doings, again, it doesn't matter who the role is with and whatever. Call in the energies. We have Mother Mary. We have Jesus that can become your brother and your guide. We have Mother Mary as a mother figure. We have many connections in spirit that they are divine counterparts. Call in the energies because they are already there, accessible to you, to help you feel fulfilled within. So we are not searching outside of us. What do I need now and why?
And look at the way that relationships could explore this together, because it isn't just about you finding self-love and becoming connected and experiencing your heart. It is also about realizing, well, if you have a relationship with somebody who is doing the same thing, then you are creating a new kind of vibration together. You're creating something that is about helping the other to find more love within themselves. And that becomes like a ping pong game. We are then suddenly experiencing that loving yourself is an adventure. Yeah, and it is something that is so deeply fulfilling, and there is no end to that. So let's say you have a fifth dimensional relationship. Yeah, it's not codependence, it's two people who are enjoying the other's company, who are supporting each other without needing something from the other person other than what and who they are at that moment. And that may shift from one moment to the next. Giving the other person the freedom to explore and express who they truly are just as much as they are respecting your sovereignty to do this for yourself. Yeah? Imagine that kind of relationship, what that would mean. You would become a guiding star, yeah, for people around you. You would raise the vibration in such an extreme that you would be shining. Yeah, it would be truly amazing. Yeah, but it starts with you as the individual. You are the one who has to give yourself permission to look at the situation, the reality of what is around you in a different way. Yeah, from the perspective of your soul, it's always about having you find the fastest way back into the light. And that means you're being challenged. You're getting so many situations where you would like to say, oh, this is shitty, I don't want this. Or this is uncomfortable, this is horrible, I don't want this. Or that person did this to me and I couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, that's the personality judging what is against the ideal of what it would like to experience. Now, however, if you are a sovereign creator, then the question becomes, wow, look, this is an opportunity for growth. This is a learning situation. What did I not know about myself? This is fascinating. Okay, let's look at it from this point of view. And let me cue in on something. Experience doesn't care if you like it or not. It just is. Yeah, it just happens. But you are being challenged in order to step up, in order to come into your own power. Don't deny yourself. to explore this, even if it means that for a couple of weeks it's like you are so angry. Yeah, okay, get a punching bag. Yeah, throw some dishes on the floor. Do something as long as it doesn't damage you or anybody else. Yeah, channel this into something different.
Break something, as you said, do a walk for yourself that will help you stay with your emotions and connect with the earth, because that will shift and transmute the emotions, okay? And thus get creative and stay with yourself without the need to change yourself, but allow the changes that are needed to come to you. And what you mentioned about being in a relationship or staying connecting with someone and trying to figure out how we can best enhance this and change this or make it work even better for us, that's actually the best point ever. Believe me, because we don't come here to experience ourselves on our own, because we would be in the jungle, okay?
Yes, we are not alone on the planet, that's for sure.
Thankfully. Yeah. Okay, but we come here to experience self and one another and self through the other. So trying to find ways that work best for you and the other person in collaboration, in balance. And balance, let me mention that because it came to my awareness yesterday through a conversation. It's not about 50-50. Balance within yourself, that can be like I am giving 80% of my energy to myself, of what I'm creating, and I'm also using 20% of my energy to you, with you. And the same goes for the other person. They are using 80% of their energy to themselves and 20 for you when it comes to a relationship. I will, yeah. That's the bottom line. Finding the balance within yourself. What is that? How it looks like, okay? How that actually goes down to actions in your everyday life, in your choices. And one day your balance may be just 5% that I have spare for everyone else. That's fine. Okay.
And it will shift again.
Yeah.
And the shifts are going to come quicker than they have ever done before. And the intensity is going to be sometimes really off the charts. Yeah. And the best thing you can do for yourself is allow for yourself to experience whatever is coming up without thinking something is wrong with you. Yeah, it's the changes that we are going through, that many people are going through right now, and it's going to create friction, it's going to create conflict. Yeah, but it might also create the opportunities to experience yourself in a new way. And then by doing that, you are ready to allow others to do the same.
Exactly. And thank you for summing this up in that way, because exactly that, there's nothing wrong with you. That's what I want us to focus more now. There's nothing wrong with you.
It's happening anyway, so you might as well enjoy the ride.
Yeah. And enjoy it and get the best out of it. Right?
Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this, Konstantina. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here, exploring these things with me. And I love how we have these beautiful conversations, because this is our first time we are recording, but not the first conversation we've had.
True. Well, everybody, it's been joyful sharing this moment with you. Thank you so much for listening. All the best to you. Many blessings.
Bye.